Hi, everyone. I am Jess Markowitz, your Superstar Director of Angels Saving Lives Group. You may not know me personally because there's a lot of new people, and so I wanted to jump on and do a little walkthrough of how you can find some resources. And this is really geared towards the newer people, but also towards seasonal people like me, or seasoned, we like to call ourselves, because here's the thing, Scentsy is changing constantly and updating new business references, new tools, new products, it's almost impossible to be like the, expert in this business because there's always something changing. Now, obviously, the more you are in this business, the more seasoned you are, you pick up on kind of the ins and outs of how to maneuver things, but it doesn't mean that we have all the answers. It's just we kind of know where to go to find the answers. And so what I wanted to do is give you some tips of where those answers may be if you have no idea where to start. So the first thing that I wanted to introduce to you that I would hope that everybody is utilizing, but I know because I'm one of those people that didn't in the beginning until I was struggling and my sponsor said, did you look at your startup guide? And I was like, no. So here is your startup guide. I know that sometimes when you see things like this, it's kind of daunting, like, I have to read all this. But here's the thing, guys. If you joined to make money, you got to learn your business. And so bring this around. I call this like your Scentsy Bible for the first at least 70 days. And whenever you have a second or two, maybe you're waiting for your dental appointment or whatever, do this. You have some downtime, 15-minute break at work, lunchtime, whatever. Instead of watching a TV show, maybe put a little time into your business, and which makes you money instead of sucks your time, right? I know sometimes I'm going to give you a little tough love because I've learned over the years that if I don't give you that tough love, you're not going to be growing and achieving your goals. So yes, television should be deleted if you feel you don't have time to read your startup guide. So this has literally been, I won't say mastered because everything is always improving, but compared to the startup guide that I received when I started, holy moly, you guys, this has been perfected. So definitely take a look at this. There's a glossary of all the verbiage. A lot of people start their businesses and go through a couple months and don't even know what PRV means, okay? So PRV is right here in your glossary. It explains what it is. There's going to be some verbiage that you're going to learn over your Scentsy lifestyle time. And, PWS means personal website. So when you hear us on our group page, talking about certain codes like a PWS or whatever, you want to know what that means. So, this is very important. It's going to give you tons of, tools that, when you're first starting your business and you're doing your first parties, it talks about the 6 selling skills of Scentsy, and it breaks down prospecting, booking, hostess coaching, sponsoring, all these things. And it's very important to know these things or you're going to struggle with the formula with the business that's going to help you grow your business and make you an income. So first tip, read your startup guide. If you don't have it anymore, you may be a seasoned consultant and you're like, I don't have it, or maybe you've reinstated recently, you can go to your business references under new consultant. So I'm actually going to show you guys a visual. That's why I decided to do this Zoom instead of our regular Facebook Live. So you guys can actually see, here I am on Facebook here. Well, that's okay. First of all, I'm going to get back to this in just a second because that is one of our tools. So let's see. We go straight to our business references. Okay, so here's the category right here. When you see this, it's kind of daunting, like, where do I start? So my biggest suggestion is to start small, okay? Start with, I'm a new consultant. So I'm going to click on this and where do I start? New consultant, especially if you're new. Okay. It's going to bring you all these things. And these are all things that we believe you should be taking a look at. Here's your startup guide. Okay. So if you're an older consultant that hasn't looked at your startup guide, go to new consultant and start fresh. The beauty is that you can start your business fresh and brand new every single month. So, and then they do update this frequently. So see, it just was updated in August. So you can either download it to your computer or you can purchase it in your Scentsy Success store, which is, you can order right here, or you can go to the orders tab and order from Scentsy Success, shops at Scentsy Success. Okay, so back to business references. My second biggest tip is to go to your FAQs. See right here, so you categories, and then you drop down into FAQs. Print all these out, people, and create a binder, add your startup guide to it, and then really make your Scentsy Bible. It's just a reference to look at if anybody asks questions and you're not quite sure. Refer back to that first before you start, blowing up your sponsor or upline's phone, because here's the thing, guys. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a little bit of tough love today. Your upline wants your success. I want your success. I want to be there and to support you and cheer you on as much as I possibly can. But here's the thing. We all only have 24 hours in a day, right? So we have our own personal families. We have our own personal things we have to take care of on a personal level. We have our own businesses that we have to run, our own clientele, our own other team members that, may have time set up with us, that they took the time to schedule with us. And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys that I learned over the years, and it was very hard for me to learn. It was a tough lesson to learn, is that if I don't require you to put the time in and homework and do your training first before I set up time with you, I'm not only wasting your time, but I'm wasting my time as well, vice versa. Why? Because when I'm teaching you, I'm also teaching you wrong. I'm not teaching you simplicity, and I'm not teaching you independence. So there is no possible way for you to grow your business with new team members and continue to grow with team members if I'm teaching you by training you on every single concept individually. It's just not possible. So you're going to think, oh, so when I sponsor somebody, I'm going to have to walk them through every single thing about the business. No, that is absolutely impossible. First of all, even if we want to, even if you have one team member, there is no way that you can train them on every concept in Scentsy. They are going to have to put the time in and do their own training. Hence why we have so much training available. So I'm going to screen share once again and show you where you'd want to go. The training center, right? So over the years, this has become better and better and more resourceful than I've ever seen in over 7.5 years. Literally breaks it down to product training, leadership development, business ownership, personal development, and then of course the 6 skills of selling system. This is definitely an area that all of us have to pay attention to. This is where you will register for your upcoming trainings, which is every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you can be on live or you can go back and watch it later. So, and it literally tells you what's coming up. So you can make sure, say you're really struggling with sponsoring and you really want to know about it. So you can literally mark your calendar to make sure you're on that live if possible, or that you definitely catch that one is going to be coming up and placed into the training center. So this is somewhere you want to definitely look for the questions that you have. Now, product training. They're updating this constantly. So I will tell you there's going to be products that they don't have training on yet because they are constantly updating it. So for instance, I had a new team member ask me about basically how long does a car bar last? And the back of the products, I just want to make sure everybody knows, it does say it, but if she doesn't have a car bar in hand, she wouldn't know that answer, right? So that's why I want to really encourage all of you new consultants, brand new consultants that have the ability to and have earned your shooting star or still have the opportunity to earn your shooting star, to definitely strive for it, because it gives you eligibility to purchase your enhancement kit. The enhancement kit is going to give you the products that you don't get in your startup kit. And but it's just a formula, guys. Everything, there's a reason behind everything. The reason why you want to have a launch party is because your launch party, you are the hostess of. You get all the free and half off items. So that's it's a more inexpensive way for you to purchase products that you need to show your clients and to learn about, which the packaging are on here, and with your free and half off items. So it's an easier way to obtain those products. Now, if you're curious on what, these, if you're curious about what the Shooting Star Enhancement Kit entails, I would go to your business references, because it is constantly changing, okay? I'm sorry, just click business ownership. Go back to your workstation. I apologize. So workstation, business references, and go back to your new consultant. And then it's going to give you the most updated version. So if you've joined since August, this is what your enhancement kit is going to have: a sidekick, a counter cleaner, things like that. Some of that's in your business. Some of it's inside your kit that you purchase for your enrollment kit, but it's also going to constantly change because now we're in a new catalog. So they may have updated it a little bit. So you have more products that are newer and available. So, but this is a less expensive and a very smart business decision, because your Shooting Star kit, does count for 200 points towards your PRV. And you do have 90 days to get it. So from the day you earned your kit, which is the day you placed you hit 500 in your workstation, you have 90 days from that day, okay? Some other ways to find out your information is, I'm not gonna lie, guys, take the time to just, when you have a chance, go through, click all, and just kind of see what's available. Seasonal collection selling kit. That's a great, tool if you purchase that selling kit. Home office touch points with new consultants. So this is something you have in your workstation when you first join, your first checklist. But if you are seasoned and you're just trying to get your business going again, maybe you just reinstated, you want to download this so you can see what you should be doing, basically. So welcome to Scentsy, there's a video. Meet your consultant support team, there's a video. Launch your business, first things first checklist, there's the PDF. Your Scentsy starter kit is on its way. Introduction to your workstation. So these are all things that I get calls on all the time. How do I do this? Where do I go? Da, da, da. This checklist shows you what you need to know and what you're looking to get answered. But if you don't take the time to utilize this, you're also asking your upline to take extra time out of their day for you, when you can be taking the time on your own time to get those questions answered. It's not fair to your upline, okay? When we all joined, we joined so we'd have freedom and we didn't have to be working, 9 hours a day like, a regular job. Even though this is my career, I do not work 9 hours a day. I don't work even half that. And I refuse to, because that's why I joined Scentsy, and that's why I built my business, so I don't have to work that many hours a day. Okay. So yeah, take the time to kind of just go through when you have a chance and spend maybe, some time every day to kind of go through these different things of what's available. And don't be afraid to type in what you're looking for, and it might pop up. If it doesn't mean it's not there. It just may not be the right words. So here's just a little tip I'm going to give you. And this is how I work, and I train my team members to do the same. When somebody asks me, I'm looking in the workstation for this, I'll ask them, what did you type in? And if they can't tell me what they typed in, then I know they didn't take the time to research it themselves. They're looking for me to take time out of my day to get an answer for them, because they're basically telling me that their time is more valuable than mine. So, but if they tell me I type this in and I type it in and it doesn't pop up, then I know they did the work. They did the effort. They made the effort. So then I'm going to take the time to help them find that answer. Okay. But if you just call me and say, I need this answer, and you haven't put any work in trying, and you just say, oh, I looked in the workstation. Okay, well, where did you look in the workstation? Because I want to teach you that maybe where you're looking might be not where you want to look for that specific thing. So then it gives me an opportunity to train you, but it's because you've shown me that you've attempted to find it yourself. Okay. Why do I do that? Because I want to, everything I do, you're going to think you have to do as well when you start to train your team. So if you just give the answers to everybody immediately, you're going to think you have, if I do that, you're going to think you have to do the same. And that is going to be not duplicatable. You're not going to be able to keep up with that, especially when you have hundreds of people in your downline. Just impossible. Okay, so let's go back to sharing. And this is all, I hope that everybody knows about this and is utilizing, but if you're brand new, you may not. So let's just go over that. The training center, we're back. We went on that before. There is a search right here, and just depending on what you say, like if you're looking up fundraising, anything that has to do with fundraising is going to pop up. So instead of just texting your sponsor or your upline saying, oh, I want to know about fundraising, utilize the training center. You'll be very surprised how much is there. And the thing is that, again, if you expect your sponsor or upline to train you on what looks like, let's see, this is probably at least a 30-minute each, 15 to 30 minutes, let's say about 2 hours of training, for them to spend the time 2 hours out of their life, out of their day, out of their personal life, out of their personal business. So because you don't want to go through this, that's not very fair. And then you always have to think about, will I be willing and able to do the same thing for somebody else? No. So this way, you could be training yourself at 2 o'clock in the morning if that's convenient to you, and getting your answers. And then if you still have answers and you still have more questions, if you still have questions and you tell your sponsor or upline, I watched all the fundraising in the training center and I still have some questions, that's going to tell them, wow, this person has put in the time and they really do mean business. So I'm going to give them some of my time, and I'm definitely willing to, share that, make up time for them to get more answers for them. Now, they're updating this constantly, so you may see 6 trainings today, and next week there might be more. So always be looking. Now, if we type in, sometimes if you type in a different word, more things will show up. So, hey, Susan.
Hey.
So as you can see, if you type in a different word, different things will show up. So this may or may not be the same trainings that were up before, but if we change it right here, fundraising. So there's 4 there, and when you change it to fundraising, if you spell it correctly, hold on a second, fundraising, it gives you 2 more than it did before. So I think it was the first 4, and then you add the fundraising and you get more training. So just be creative. Type in different words in the search before you flip out and say there's no training. But my biggest thing that I want everybody to understand about your upline, where their role is that we're an independent consultant, meaning that this is our own business. So when you own your own business, there's no one to say, this is what you do, how you do it, right? You're the owner, you're the top dog. So the beauty of a direct sales business is that it gives you these extra tools to utilize on your own time. So, okay, I love that Susan just popped on. She's 3 hours behind me. So when I'm in bed, she still probably has 3 hours of awake time that may be convenient for her to say, I'm going to sit down and do some training. Or vice versa. I'm up 3 hours earlier than she is because it's later there. So, or later here. So when I'm training or when I'm running my business, she's asleep. So that's the only way that we're able to connect as team members and business owners, and to get all the training that we need and resources without trying to, go crazy. Because here's the thing, if her and I could never connect and we didn't have this training center and we didn't have these resources, then we'd feel pretty lost, right? That's why the workstation is created. That's why our startup guide is so thorough. That is why we do have IdeaShare, which I'm going to click back on. I don't know why I clicked out of here. So you'll find that Scentsy is constantly updating the training center. Susan and I actually talk about this all the time. Like, even when she joined, and she joined 3 years after I did, even when she joined, all of this was not there for us. So a lot of it, we had to just figure it out on our own with trial and error. So now there's all these resources. And I know that when there's more, it sometimes can be more overwhelming. So that's why you just take it, one day at a time, subject after subject. If you're like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, again, you're typing in fundraising. I'm just always going to use that as okay, so it's going to show you what you have that's available with fundraising. So there's a fundraising sheet and there's thank you cards. So you may say, okay, I'm not looking for documents, I'm looking for training. So that's when you go to your training center. Another resource that I wanted to show, which most people don't know we have, and it's a very good resource, is our Scentsy blog. And it's, let me move this out of the way, scentsyblog.com. And they're constantly updating this, and this has tons of great resources. So for instance, make it your own. Let's just click on this and see what they have as an option here. Sorry, my internet's kind of slow. But basically, if you can't find it in the training center, you can't find it in the business references, you have this website as well. And then we also have one other resource, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute. So let's see what they have here. Make yourself uncomfortable. So this is personal training to help tips for meeting new people and making meaningful connections. Outside of your comfort zone is where the magic begins. I'm sure that's what that says. Turn your side business into a full-time job. A lot of people are really looking to do this, obviously. The thought of being able to have your own freedom and make your own hours and still make the income that you made when you were working full-time and a slave to somebody else, absolutely, that's a great goal and a lot of people's dreams that they have. And so these are tips on how to do that. So follow-up, sponsoring is key. Treat your business like a business. And then they even have links for more training. So it's just endless, guys. It's literally endless. One other resource that I feel that a lot of people to this day don't really know is that we have not only a support ticket you could create for support tickets are basically for documentation. If I'm going to say more on a compliance level. If you are asking questions about compliance, I would create a support ticket because you want a paper trail. You don't want to call support and say, hey, is this okay? And then support to say yes verbally, and then there's no documentation that they gave you the approval, and then we find out later that it's not okay, and then that can affect your business. So anything that has to do with compliance, I would use the start a support ticket. Phone calls is more like, hey, this is going on with my workstation. Okay, this is funny, you're on, Susan. One of Susan's team members had a glitch on her homepage.
But it wasn't a glitch.
What was it?
They told her it wasn't a glitch. They said that it'll show like that until she reaches her 1,000, and then it'll start doing what we were talking about. She
Okay,
did.
so where was her PRV? Where was it showing her PRV?
Well, she was supposed to email you and tell you what they said, but she said that when she called them, they said that once she hits her 1,000, then it'll start showing her what her goal is and what her PRV is. That is her total PRV that you were seeing, and
Uh-huh.
it won't go to the way it's supposed to, like we look at. You're zero, you're this much toward this much until after she hits her 1,000.
Okay, so she's a brand, just to kind of fill everybody in, she's a brand new consultant and hasn't hit certified yet, so she hasn't sold over 1,000. So her PRV tracker said 6 something slash 1,000. And
Right.
so usually when you look at your workstation, it tells you where you're at for the month, which
Right.
usually everybody starts at 0. So that's a little interesting. I'm probably going to contact them to, that's kind of.
Yeah, because mine didn't used to do that. So I'm wondering if that's brand new, because mine used to show the way we thought it was supposed to show 0 to 500 or 0 to 1,000. Mine never did that. That's why I called you.
Yeah, well, I've never seen that either. So that's why, yeah. So that was new to me as well. So anyways, that's why the calling support, they're able to see what we see and they're able to give those answers. Like Susan called me, I had no clue what she was talking about. So I thought it was just a glitch, but apparently it's something new that they've added on to the workstation. So that's why your sponsor and your upline are not the people that can help you when it comes to your workstation. Like those type of things, like your PRV, what it's saying, maybe you're trying to close a party there's a glitch. There's like, recently there's been a situation that, really fast, I'm just come back on here. There's been a situation that it says like a couple cents and that the cents have been paid, but it hasn't been taken off and it doesn't let you close the party. That's not something your sponsor can help you with. That's not something I can help you with. That's something that the support has to help you with. So please, please, please utilize that. I mean, it's an entire department that is there for our help. Because again, we have to remember that we're individual business owners. Even though your sponsor is your sponsor, they can't talk to anybody about your business. Even your sponsor. Your sponsor has nothing to do with your specific business. Okay, they're just there to support you, cheer you on, and hopefully give you their experience if they've been through it. But it's very likely they may not have been through that situation. So Susan contacted me, seeing if it's something I've experienced before. I didn't. I gave her my best advice, which is, it must be a glitch, and it wasn't. So that's why we have to remember as sponsors that there's no way we can know all. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the business, how full-blown a business owner you've been, because things are constantly changing. There's no way to either expect your sponsor and upline to know anything, as well as you as the sponsor to think that you're going to know all the answers for your downline. You're just setting yourself up for failure. Okay, so phone number, the time frame. Here are the hours. If you're ever like, oh gosh, are they still around? Right here is your time frame. And then this is what I was saying that I don't know that people know is available, which I think is absolutely awesome. The chat option. You could literally chat with consultant support on your phone if you want to, through your workstation, and get some answers. You can upload pictures, Snapchat. You can do like screenshots of something that you want them to see, and they can answer you a lot faster. So that's a resource that is available to you. Now, again, I'm not trying to say this because I don't want you to have a relationship with your sponsor or to reach out to them for assistance, but it's very important to make sure that you are utilizing what's available first before you're asking your sponsor to take time out of their day and their life and their business to show you something that's already at your fingertips. And then if we see that you've done that you're like, look, I've typed this in the training center, I've typed this in the business references, and you're showing us that you've put the time in to on your own business to really find the answer. And then of course, if we have advice or we happen to have the answer, it'll be so much easier for us to provide that for you. But again, you don't want to wait around for your sponsor to answer a question for you that they may never get to. Like I said, this lady texted me at night. I was already in bed. And the cool thing is that she didn't wait around for me. She utilized our group page and asked on there, and she got her question answered. So if you're sitting around, you know, twiddling your thumbs, waiting for your sponsor or your upline to answer you, you're only putting your business on hold, nobody else. So utilize these tools. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is the IdeaShare. IdeaShare is somewhere where you can share ideas that you come up with, your team comes up with, your customers come up with. But you'll find that a lot of ideas have already been thought of. And so that's why it says search to avoid duplicates. So if you say, oh, I think we should have NFL warmers. Well, that's been said ever since I've been around. And people kind of think they're coming up with this great idea, but there's reasons behind that it hasn't happened yet. But just for an instance, they'll say catalog includes scratch and smell. That's an awesome idea. So 3,492 people have voted on that. I'm going to go ahead and vote on that. I think that's a good idea. So definitely go through here, see what's being available. And there's just so much, you guys. I will say the last thing I'm going to do, because I don't want to be on here too much longer, is your mindset is where it's going to make or break your business. If you're constantly the victim, if you're constantly, this is my, you know, everything's against me, I don't have the resources, I don't have the time, you're right, because that's what you're telling yourself. There's an old, look at Susan using her Scentsy products. I love it.
Training and cleaning at the same time.
Great marketing video right here. And great time management. She's killing two birds with one stone. She's doing her training, and she's also getting her business taken care of at home. So good for you, Susan. I just lost my train of thought. I got so excited. That's okay. It's not your fault. What was I going to say? Oh, so your mindset. So there's an old saying that I think, let me actually pull, I'm going to screen share one more time. I'm going to pull it up while you guys are on. Go to Google because I want to give you the correct quote. And it's from Henry Ford. And I believe it's something like, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. But I want to make sure it's right, that I say the right thing. Henry Ford's a smart guy. So let's see here. Let me actually type in.
Post that on the page, please, when you're done.
Absolutely.
EDN actually posted.
Okay, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And what that means, you guys, I'm going to pull this up so you can see a visual. And maybe you can even do a screenshot, but I'm going to post this on our page as well. But what that means is that whatever you think you can, that you're going to take the actions to do it because you think you can. If you think you can't, you're not going to do the actions. So you're absolutely right. You can't. So think about that, guys. If you're telling yourself, I don't have the time, I don't have the skills, I don't have the resources, then you don't, because that's what you're telling yourself. And you're keeping yourself in that place. You're keeping yourself in that situation to say that I don't have. But when you say, I don't yet, I don't know where these are yet, but I know I can find it. And when you put the time in, one thing I'll tell you, when you are scrolling through all of this stuff, maybe you're looking for one thing. Let's just throw up, let me just put an incentive, okay? Say you're looking for the tracker, okay? It popped up, but you'll also find that you find things that you didn't know was available. See how when I did a drop down, it brought up 3 different things for the incentive. So you're like, oh, I didn't know that there's also a qualification requirement FAQ. I didn't know about that. So you're going to learn and find more resources just by trying to find another resource. That's how we all do it. It's not that any of us are born knowing the tools or knowing the resources. It's time, trial and error, and just searching, and that's it. And I know that that can really be frustrating for some people. And I'm not saying you guys all don't have limited time, but I'm also going to tell you this, neither do we. I mean, so do we. Because if you tell us that, you know, you don't have the time, you're also telling us that our time isn't as valuable as yours. If you expect us to put in time that you're not willing to put in time for yourself. So think about that, you guys. This business really does shed light in areas that sometimes we don't like to see. Like, oh, wow, you learn things about yourself, whether they're good or bad. But that's where the growing pains are. Susan, so can you give us any type of an example of something you've learned about yourself over the last few years with the business?
Oh, sure I can. That whether I work outside the home or inside the home, I still have a full-time job.
Amen to that, sister.
And if you want your business to succeed, you find time for your business. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
No excuses. I will tell you guys right now. I used to work outside the home and I still worked my business. Jesse will tell you, I never did not be active. I always had my 200 in every single month, minus 1 month I almost missed it. But I always had 200 in. I always found time to work my business, whether it was 30 minutes a day or an hour a day. We all have limited time, every single one of us.
Exactly. Thank you. Great experience and testimony. So, okay, well, I hope that just this little surfing the workstation and tools helps you. I'm going to be posting the Scentsy blog on our workstation. I'll definitely post that quote from Henry Ford. And just remember that all of us are a big Scentsy family. We want to root each other on. We want to cheer each other on. And I don't want you to think that it's bad to reach out to your upline, but by any means, we want to help you. But I don't want you to rely on your upline, because your success does not rely on your upline. If Susan sat around waiting to find out when she can connect with me, she wouldn't have had a $6,000 or $3,000 month last month, because her and I were both so busy that every time we tried to connect, something would happen and she'd be like, oh, I have a new business customer I got to run off to, or I'd be like, oh man, I have to go do this. But the thing is we understood that we both are just trying to do our best. She didn't get mad at me that, oh man, she's working her business and she's not stopping it for me, and vice versa. And so, but she knew that I rooted her on, I congratulated her, and that's all she needed, is to know that I'm on her side. And look what she did with her month. What'd you say?
I got my cards yesterday. Thank you.
Oh, yay! You're welcome. So super exciting. And I think that I just want to remind you guys that the workstation and our resources are constantly being updated. So if it's not there today, it doesn't mean it's not going to be there tomorrow. But just so then reach out to your consultant support if they're open Monday through Friday when you're looking. And then if for some reason it's a Saturday or Sunday, reach out to your sponsor and upline, and hopefully they'll be able to help, but don't hold them accountable or be upset with them if they're not able to assist you. That's all I'm saying, is that we're consultants just like you guys, just trying to make our business and our everything happen. So have a sensational month. Great job last month. I can't wait to post all of the results once everything's official on the 10th. And I hope this helped. Bye, guys. Bye, Susan.
Yes. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.